Welcome to Get a Clue, Casual Gamer, where you get a clue, C-L-U-E, about a game. If you notice, behind me, all you see are just a smattering of a couple of my clue collection. The rest are packed in 5 boxes off to my right. And I have containers and boxes around me, and even behind me you'll see that this is stuff that were in drawers in the credenza. I'm moving and I'm packing to move, and right now I would say 95 to 98% of my games are packed. But what am I going to do for the last month I'm in this house, and for the first week or two that I'm in the new house before I can unpack my games? I decided I would make a last box. And so this video is, we're going to look at what games made it into my last box. It's a small moving box, 12 by 12 by 16 inches. And surprisingly, I have packed it. In the last couple of weeks, I've taken a couple things out and changed them for some others. And it's like, this is the definitive last box list. I managed to fit 23 games into this box. 23 games. And so I'm going to share with you what lucky games made it into my last box. I am surrounded by 23 games that I want to share with you. Okay. I was trying to figure out how was I going to present them. Obviously, they're some of my favorites, or they wouldn't have made it into the last box. I mean, just saying. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll do it from smallest to largest, or largest to smallest. And then I said, well, maybe I'll do it by how old, how old they are, from the oldest to the newest. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll do it from the lightest to the most complex. And I'm looking at this going, you know what? Boxes size, there's so many similar size that I decided not to do that. And complexity, they all of them are in a 1-point range of complexity, which means really they're all just basically around the same difficulty. So how am I going to do it? Alphabetically. That's how I'm going to do it. So join me in a trip through my list of 23 games that are going to be in. They do fit in there comfortably, no bending, no damaging of any boxes, in this, my last box. Excuse me. I will be describing them with hobby game terminology, and rather than explain the terms, I will place an explanation or a definition of them in the description of this video. So I invite you to just push the click that little down arrow, and that opens up the description, and in it you will find a glossary of words. I will try and describe lightly each game and why I chose it. So here we go. Number 1. It starts with a number. 7 Wonders Duel. 7 Wonders Duel came out in 2015. It's a 2-player only game. There are 4 games on this list that are 2-player only, because I figured if at some point I can find one other person, I'm moving to a city I've never been to before. I don't know just about anybody there. So if I'm lucky enough to get one person who can play a game with me, who will want to play a game with me, I have an assortment of games. Also, on this end, if I can just get one person to play a game with me when I take a slight break from packing and cleaning, I will have some games. So this is a two-player game. It's a two-player version of Seven Wonders, and it's a little bit more thinky than Seven Wonders Architects, which is the most recent one that just came out. But this one is Seven Wonders Duel, 2015. It plays in about 30 minutes. Again, I like short and sweet. It is considered a set collection, drafting, tug of war game where you are doing that. You're collecting sets. Every time I start these videos, my nose starts to tickle because I'm talking and apparently it's reverberating in my sinuses. If I edit it, I'd be editing that out again. You have, basically it's a three-step thing. You choose, you develop, you win. There you go. You choose, you develop, you win. You choose, you draft from here, you develop, and you get the points you need to win. It's mostly a card game. So it's not really big. If for some reason it's not sitting flat, I'm going to have to check that out before I put it back into the last box. But this is my number one, Seven Wonders Duel. Number two. Switch pages here. Oh, wait a minute. Where's number two? Oh, here it is. Number two. Huh. I had that in the wrong place. Arboretum. Arboretum also came out in 2015. It plays 2 to 4 players. Plays in about a half hour. It is considered a hand management, pattern building, set collecting, tile placement game. I like it because I love those trees. Beautiful trees. I'm all about pretty. It's just a card game, but the placement of the cards can mitigate points at the end of the game, and what you hold in your hand, that hand management, what you have left at the end of the game, it speaks to what you can count in front of you for points. So it's puzzly. I like puzzly games. So it's you think when I say puzzly, I'm not doing a definition for puzzly. Puzzly, yeah, crossword puzzle, Sudoku puzzle. It's like there's a puzzle there, and you're trying to figure out which should you hold in your hand, which should you put in front of you, where should you put it in front of you, and that's Arboretum. I love this game. Simple, yet elegant. I love this game. Number two. Okay, number three. Go. Canvas. Canvas, I will tell you, is the one I just received on Thursday. I'm filming this on, actually, I'll tell you, I'm filming this on May 1st, Sunday, May 1st, because I need to get things packing, and as messy as this is already, I mean, I got stuff sitting over here that I've taken out of drawers, and it was like chaos. I hate this part of packing. But anyway, so I ordered this. Long story, I won't tell you now. Maybe if I do a video on this game itself. It's too new for me to have done a video already yet. But soon, and very soon. Probably sometime in July, maybe August, but we'll do it. So anyway, this arrived 20 minutes before I had to leave the house Thursday to go and spend some time with some friends. Hey, Charlie and Linda. And so I was frantically getting it ready, punching out the punch outs and getting stuff in bags and everything and having it ready so that we could try playing it, because I'd been waiting so long. Over a year I've been wanting this game, and I finally got it, which is why I was taking stuff out of my last box so I could fit this one in, because I want to get more plays of this in. Now, it's called Canvas. It came out just this past year in 2021. It plays 1 to 5 in about 30 minutes. Now, I'm going to stop you there for a moment. 1 to 5. Here's where I say one of the big criteria I had for a lot of these games was a solo mode. I wanted games that I can play on my own, because I don't know how many I'm going to have to play on my own for a while. So I wanted to make sure I had some available. And this one, it has a solo mode. It plays 1 to 5 people. So at some point I'm going to learn how to play the solo mode. Just saying. But it's so pretty. And what you're doing, well, the technical terms are hand management, drafting, and set collection. You are creating a work of art that's worth points. And so depending on what 3 little acrylic slides you put together depends on what your points will be at the end. See, here they have 3 different clear things put on top of the background, and then these symbols that you can find on these little acrylic sheets can be worth points depending on what the criteria are in that specific game. Each game it changes up a little, so replayability is wonderful as well. It's beautiful, and guess what? They put a little thing here so that you could hang it on the wall. Yeah. So there you have it. Canvas, a beautiful piece of artwork, and a wonderful game. Okay, number 4. Another new game. This one came out, when I say new, I mean new. It came out this year, 2022. It's called Caper Europe. Yep, Caper Europe. In it, you are a mastermind of a group of thieves, and it's a 2-player game. So each of you are trying to be the best mastermind thief and leader of a gang of thieves, and you will be trying to steal from different buildings in different European cities. I played this the other day, and we played the first scenario, which is Paris, and yeah, there's plenty of replayability in this one as well. Let me give you some stats about Caper Europe. Besides that, it came out in 2022, and it's a 2-player game. 2 people. That's it. It's another one of those 2-player games. Plays in about 25-35 minutes, and the gameplay uses drafting, set collection, tug of war, and area management. Most of these terms explain themselves if you really listen to them, but Caper Europe is, look at that artwork. Aren't they hilarious? Those thieves that you can choose from. It looks basically like that when you're laid out, though I kind of kept them shorter not necessarily seeing the whole body of the thief, but you have this in the middle, and this is your side, and this is your opponent's side, and you try and steal. In this case, we have the Moulin Rouge. I think it's a museum. I don't know, a bank? I don't know. Interesting. But those are, oh, sorry. Those are the 3 locations. Each game will just have 3 locations that you're trying to steal from. And those cards can change, which changes it up. And then you have 4 different cities, so you can change it up with the different cities. And it's a great, fun tug of war. It is a tug of war. There literally is a piece that moves back and forth. If you've ever played Hanamikoji or Jixi Academy, and you have that little thing that goes back and forth, this has something similar. I think Imhotep the Duel might have that as well. Maybe not. No. There's some other game that has that same kind of mechanic of the tug of war. Okay, so that was number 4. Number 5. Number 5 is the biggest box in this, the last box, and it's Cascadia. Yes, I have a lot of Cult of the New in this last box. Cascadia came out last year in 2021. It plays 1 to 4, hence, yeah, It plays in about 30-45 minutes, and it uses tile placement, drafting, and pattern building. What you're doing with Cascadia is, when it's your turn, you have a selection of tiles, and you pick 1 tile and 1 animal token, and you place your tile amongst your tiles, touching one of your tiles, and you put the animal token on one of the tiles that has that animal on it. There are different ways of changing things up a little with some cards, but basically that's the game. You are creating a habitat, different habitats. The tiles have terrain on them, different kinds of terrain, whether it's mountains or water or forests or fields, whatever. And then the tokens have 1 animal on it, bear or was it hawk, salmon, and animals like that. Okay. Oh, a fox. I think there's a fox there too. Cascadia. Lovely game, but it's that puzzliness. The where do I put this to get the best end game points? It's another game that has end game points, and you're trying to figure out where is the best place to place these tiles and these tokens, and that is Cascadia. Okay, that was number 5. Number 6, Q-Birds. Isn't that cute? Card game. Pure card game. It came out in 2018. Let me see the names. Q-Birds. They're all little cube or rectangle type shape. It plays 2 to 5 players in about 20 minutes. 20 to 30 minutes, I would say. It uses hand management and definitely set collection. You definitely want to collect some sets because that's the only way you're going to win. And the drafting is basically from here. You're going to be picking up different ones by using ones that are in your hand. So technically it's not drafting as much as you're managing your hands, and you're making sets. I think it's adorable. It's a light game. It's easy to get people to play it with you because it looks simple and cute. So people are willing to try, and I'm all about getting games that people are willing to try. And so Q-Birds made my list, plus it's a nice compact box. That was number 6. Number 7 is an oldie but goodie for me. I've had this for a year and a half, at least, almost 2 years. Number 7 came out in 2019. It plays 1 to 4. It uses whiteboard markers and whiteboards so you can erase it and reuse it, and there's only 4 of them. That's why it's up to 4 people. I have played it solo, so I know how to play this solo. It takes 20 to 30 minutes for a game. It's simple. It's got, let me make sure that they mention it here, because if not, I'm going to mention it. It is a roll and write. So this is the first roll and write that I've brought up here. It's not the last, because they're easy. First of all, they're compact, they're easy, and most of them have a solo mode. So, you know. But anyway, in Deadly Doodles, it is considered a roll and write, and what I call a dungeon maneuvering, because your board is going to be similar like this without this, because that's what somebody wrote on theirs. And everyone will be using the same flipped up cards. So I call it bingo style, because when you have something, a pattern, a dice or card or something that everyone is using the same exact ones, that's like calling out a number in bingo. Everyone gets to X out that number. Well, in this case, like these 4 would be put up, and everyone would be drawing these 4 symbols somewhere on their board, which is a dungeon with its own dragon in the center, and it has some bags of coins of gold, and then you have some hatchets and some monsters. And so you're trying to get points by getting the dragon, by getting the coins, by getting a hatchet that corresponds with a monster so you can kill the monster. And it's all done in 7 rounds. And you have 4 things you do, 4 drawings a round. That's a round right there. That's 1 round. So it's really a quick game. It's an easy game. Yet it has a theme that might draw different people. I mean, it's like maybe they're not into Q-Birds or Cascadia or Egyptian or whatever. But cute dragons, hey, if it gets them to play, I'm all for it. Okay, so that was number 7. Number 8 is a very small box. Enchanted Plumes. Enchanted Plumes is a beautiful game. You are creating a peacock. Okay, that's what you're doing. You're creating a peacock. Peacock's tail with cards. It's obviously a card game. Beautiful cards. And I do mention this in other videos, so yeah, it's there. Calliope makes some really pretty games. They did Tsuro, if you know that one. But anyway, Calliope is the company. Enchanted Plumes. Enchanted Plumes came out in 2021. It's a very new game. Plays 2 to 6 players. So this is one of 2 games I have that goes up to 6 players. I wanted to have a couple games that I could play with a decent crowd of people. So this is one of the 2 that goes up to 6 players. Enchanted Plumes. Plays in 20 to 40 minutes. Which basically means it depends on how many people you have playing to how long it's going to take. Okay. It uses, listen to this, set collection, hand management, and pattern building. I am stuck in a rut. These are the mechanisms that I like, and if I'm only going to have one last box worth of games, I want them to be some of the ones that I am very happy and comfortable to play, and or can find other people to play. And as beautiful as these cards are, it's a good sign to getting other people to play. So this is my number 8, Enchanted Plumes. Number 9, Floriferous. Floriferous came out in 2021, and it plays 1 to 4 players, takes 20 to 30 minutes, and the mechanics it uses is set collection, strategy, and drafting. And I think they are beautiful cards, and replayability is very, very real, because the criteria for points changes up in every game. There's chance, but everyone has the same chance. So it's not like throwing dice and getting stuck with whatever number. Everyone has the same chance, the same choices. And so it's a battle of the wits, maybe. But a beautiful, beautiful one, excuse me. I love Floriferous. Beautiful game, simple, easy. It's puzzly. It's one of those puzzly ones. I love the puzzly things. It's like, which flowers am I going to get, or which flower with which bug, or which flower in what color. They're all different. Yeah, there's all these different flowers in all these different colors. Each flower comes with all of the color. There's one of each of the colors, and there's a flower for each of the colors. But then you have the chance of making arrangements. You can get points for having a bee and a ladybug and a lily. And it's like, okay, so there's so many different ways of scoring, and it's not a complicated game. Win-win. So that is my number 9, Floriferous. Number 10, we go way different. Guillotine. Guillotine came out in 1998. This is the oldest of all the games that are in my last box. Guillotine it plays 2 to 5 players, about 30 minutes. It hand management, drafting, set collection, and take that. Why? Because you are an executioner. Each player is its own executioner during the French Revolution, and you are trying to collect the people of the most prestigious people and try to avoid the oops mistakes, because those are negative points. So you're trying to get the cards that have the highest points and avoid the negative points. And of course, Marie Antoinette is worth 5 points because, yeah. So that's Guillotine. And like I say, it plays 2 to 5, so it's kind of like medium level. And it's just cards. I mean, it's a card game. And you are mitigating the cards to move people forward or backward, whatever will give you the better points. And that is Guillotine, my number 10. Number 11, very similar to Floriferous, is Herbaceous. No, they don't play the same, but same company, beautiful herb artwork. And here, let me give you some info about Herbaceous. Let me find it again. There it is. Came out in 2017, so it's a couple years older than Floriferous, actually 4 years older. It plays 1 to 4, and it takes 15 to 20 minutes. I'd say, yeah, 20 minutes. It's set collection and push your luck. It also is a card game, but each player will have these 4 cards, and they tell you what you need to get points from that card and what you need to collect. You need to plant and then collect and place them in these 4 receptacles. Somewhat all the same. Let's see. This one wants all the same plant. This one wants all different plants. This one wants pairs of plants. And this one wants ones that you can put any there. They have to be, any 3 can go there. But if they have a number on them, you get those points as well. And if you get a 1, 2, and 3 in that one, you get even extra points. So yes, Herbaceous is another one of those puzzly type of games that I so very much like. And so it has made my list at number 11. And I'm going to try and go a little bit faster because I am taking a lot of time, but I've got to pack these games and pack my house. And okay, number 12. Number 12 is Imhotep the Duel, a 2-player game. This is our 3rd 2-player game. And basically, let's give you some info about it. Came out in 2018. It plays 2 in about 30 minutes. It is a set collection, worker placement, area majority type game. You are basically getting goods from these ships and placing them in your area. Or actually, your area. Yeah. So you are trying to manage and get things and create these pyramids worth points, and just, you know, I love the Egyptian theme too. I'm all about history. I love pretty and I love history. So it's kind of like, okay. and I love the size of the box. These 2-player game boxes are just so convenient, and not they don't overtake all my shelves either, as well as the last box. So Imhotep the Duel, when you're in the mood for a duel. The next one, my number 13, is Imperial Settlers Roll and Write. Okay, there is an Imperial Settlers. This is the Roll and Write. Came out in 2019. It plays 1 to 4 and about 30 minutes. Yeah, even when you're solo, it can take that long. Thinking and choosing. Obviously, it's a roll and write, and I call it a civilization game because you are building your own empire. And to do that, you're going to need supplies. And so you're going to be rolling dice to get supplies for your kingdom and to build. And it's just what do I go for? How do I go for stone, or do I go use this dice to work towards one of these buildings, or do I want to X out a row of stone or a row of wood or a row of food for end game, end game score? Do I want to build bridges so that I can harvest further out? Yeah, it's you're building. It's not a heavy or long civilization game, but it gives you just that little taste of building a civilization. It just a taste. It's a light. Again, all of these are in the casual level. I had no problem. I made my list, and then I made the box full. Then I wrote down the list, and I looked up and went, oh, they are all clearly in the casual level. So I'm okay with this. Now, of course, this is rolling right. It says to 4, but I think that's just, I mean, technically you have as many sheets as you want, so, or laminate them. Now, this does have a wonderful solo aspect that is actually more conducive to replayability, because there's a pad of 48 individual adventures that a solo person can play. So that's kind of cool. That's actually got this mainly because of the solo mode. I really like this Imperial Settlers Rolling Right, my number 13. Number 14 is another 2-player game, Jaipur. Jaipur came out in 2009. It's been around a while. Thank you, my cousin Doug, for teaching it to me the first time. And I then, of course, had to get my own. Plays in about 30 minutes. And the mechanisms for it, the mechanics, the way of playing, what you use to play the game, includes hand management, drafting, and market. Because you are going to be making sets of like colors, like for instance these 3 green. You sell them to the market for 3 tokens that are worth points each, and because you sold 3 or more, you get a token for 3, 4, or 5 that you sold all at once, and that has points on the reverse side, hidden points that no one will know until the end of the game, including you. It's a simple game. It's a 2-player back and forth, and you're having to decide: do I want to take this commodity or that one? Do I want to take textiles, or do I want to take gold, or do I want to take the camels? Just a touch of decision making, just enough to make it fun. And that was my number 14. My number 15 is my precious. I could not go without Pohaku. Pohaku came out in 2020. Thank you, 25th Century Games. I love this game. Plays 1 to 4, and I have played this more times solo than I have with others, though I have played it with others several times, different people. Plays 30 to 45 minutes. Yeah. It's a tile placement drafting game, and you are creating your own koi pond by picking and choosing. It's an open draft. There are, I think it's like 6 choices of koi fish and 6 features, but you have to pick a koi fish and a feature that are next to each other. Can be next to each other anyway, not diagonally, but orthogonally, yeah, together. And then you place them in front of you, following the rules. No 2 fish can touch, no 2 features can touch, and you just place them in front of you, and you're creating a koi pond that is going to be worth points at the end of the game. And that is my beautiful Pohaku. Even if I only have the cardboard version and not the acrylic version, I will survive. It's still my favorite game right now. I love it because it's so versatile. I can play it by myself. I can play it with, actually, I prefer to play it with just one other person, but it will play up to 4. I still prefer it with 2. That's number 15. Number 16 is Medici the dice game. First of all, it's a roll and write. I'll tell you that right now. It's a roll and write. Medici the dice game. There is a Medici game. This is the dice game. Don't get them confused. Very different. Came out in 2020. It plays 1 to 4. I have played this mostly solo because, you know, it's me. Plays in about 20 minutes. It's not a long game. You are drafting the dice that are rolled, and you're collecting, set collection. It's a drafting, set collection, roll and write. You are trying to fill your warehouses and fill your ships with goods or gold coins, and to get points. And that's what you're doing, filling your warehouse, filling your 3 ships in that order. And you are a Medici. And that is my number 16. Oh, I skipped. Sorry, because I came across, I made the list when I was looking at the box, and when I emptied the box to make my stacks here, I found a game in there that I didn't realize was in there, and it should have been my 15B. And I kind of, after Pohaku, but before Medici. Oh well. Here it is anyway, out of order. Longshot the dice game. Longshot the dice game is one for this year, 2022. Just came out. I have 2 games on this in this box that came out this year. Caper Europe, and Longshot the dice game. Longshot the dice game is a horse race, if you can tell there, right? It plays 1 to 8 in about 25 minutes. It's a racing game, a betting game, and a roll and write. Yeah, racing, betting, roll and write. You have the racing track, the horses. Oh, they're going to go this way. They start here and they go around here. Each person will have their own player board, which is a little tweaky different than all the others. And then there are different, each horse has 3, and if you get the Barnes & Noble specialty one, there's a free 4th one inside of it. So I have 4. Different ways you can do all of the same series 1 through 8. There are 8 horses, or you can mix and match. So, you know, mix and match. So each horse has a different ability. You can choose to buy a horse and use that ability, or you can just bet on horses. There's a concession stand. When you get a column or a row in the concession stand checked off, you get a reward. You can check off helmets and jerseys to get other rewards. And of course, the end betting, at the end of the race, you might get reward for being the owner of a horse or having bet on the horse, and it's all in fun. And so it's a great whatchamacallit, a party game, really. It's yet you can play it solo. Apparently, I have not played it solo yet. So, but I might have a lot of chance soon. And it's very new. It's not everywhere yet. So, but I do know Barnes & Noble carries it. So that's probably your best bet. Unless you kickstarted it and then you already have it. So there you have it. Okay, so now number 17. And I have my travel version of Corkle. Regular Corkle, box, big, thick. It's like, no, let's take the travel version of Corkle. It takes up much less space. It's smushy, so it squeezes into that box really well. Because it does have to go like that, kind of like this to fit in correctly. And so I can close the box. But Corkle, let me give you some information. Came out in 2006, plays 2 to 4 players in about 45 minutes. And it's considered a hand management, pattern building, tile placing game. It basically is, you're creating a grid, kind of like a crossword grid or a Scrabble grid, where you have, you know, they cross over and they link or whatever. You either have to have all the same color, or all the same pattern. No duplications. Like if it's all the same pattern, you can't have any color duplicated. You can't have 2 purples in the same line. The same with if it's every symbol, you can't have 2 of the same symbol in a line. And that is Corkle. It's very easy to get out, because it's a tile placement, kind of like dominoes, kind of like Scrabble, kind of like a crossword puzzle. You know, people know how to do this. It's a very easy game to get onto the table. And now, of course, it is a table hog, because you never know what direction those tiles are going to end up going. But I love Corkle. It's a very simple, very easy game, and it hits the spot. Number 18, or really 19, is Sakura. Sakura came out in 2018. Very pretty, very timely, nice. Sakura apparently is like Japanese for cherry blossom, something like that. It plays 2 to 6 players in 20 to 40 minutes, because it does depend on how many players to how long it's going to take and how long people take to choose what card they're going to try and play. It's considered a simultaneous action mechanic of a game. What you're doing is you are artists, you are painters here, following the emperor as he visits the cherry blossom trees in the garden. And you're trying to stay close to him without bumping into him. You don't want to bump into him, but you do want others to bump into him. So there's a little take that or gotcha in the game. You have a handful of cards, and you're choosing a card that gives directions either for the emperor to move forward or backwards, you to move forward or backwards, or somebody else to move forward or backwards. And what you're trying to do is cause people to bump into him or to get far from him, and let you be the closest person to him when he gets to a cherry tree, because then you get the most points. That is Sakura. It's a very simple game. Gorgeous. I love gorgeous. It's like, so I had to have this game. And it plays up to 6. It's the other game that plays up to 6 comfortably. So I have 2 that play to 6, 1 that plays to 8, and I have another one coming up that actually could play for more, though I prefer it to have less. But that's number 18, or the new 19. And then the 19, now 20, is Sushi Go. Simple card game. You're trying to, it's, okay, let me give you the information first. Came out in 2013, plays 2 to 5 people. Players about 15 minutes, short game. It's a drafting game, card drafting, a hand management, set collection, simultaneous action. It's another simultaneous action game where you have a handful of cards, you choose one card. When everyone's ready, everyone shows what they have, okay, and you pass your cards and you get the other person's cards, and you do the same thing until the cards are all gone. And then you score it. And then you get some more cards and you do it again. And you keep doing that. That is Sushi Go. And the cards are cute as all get out. They have this beautiful little artwork there. Aren't they adorable? You know, this like between the tempura and the maki and all that fun stuff. Yeah, it's just a cute game. And yes, there is a party game that is big and everything, but of course, for last box, I just want a simple one. This is a game that I can get almost anyone to play, teach it quickly, and it's simple, it's cute. What more can you ask from a game? Next, number 2021 was, let's just say it how it is. Number 20, The Game, came out in 2015, plays 1 to 5. It's just a card game. It's numbered, numbers 1 to 100. Well, there's 2 1s, 2 100s, and then there's from 2 to 99, 1 time each. Okay? And it's a cooperative game. Let me give you the real information. Cooperative and hand management takes about 20 minutes, and it's hard to win it. It's hard to win. It's such an easy concept. All you're doing is you're laying out the 1, 1, 100, 100, and the 2 rows that start with a 1 have to go up. The 2 rows that start with 100 have to go down, and there's only one of every other number in between them. So you have 4 rows that a number could go into. And what you're trying to do amongst everybody is get all those numbers correctly in order. That you can skip numbers, but it has to be in ascending or descending order depending on the row, and get rid of all the cards, and that's it. That's the game. It's an easy game, but it's more complicated than you think. It can be frustrating when you know. It's like, no, I'm going to have to skip 15 numbers because that's the only one I have. And the game is lost if I can't play something. So, The Game, compact, small, easy to carry around and have. Number 21, 22, whichever one you want to call it now, I'm giving up, is Village Green. Village Green came out in 2020, and it plays 1 to 5 in about 30 minutes. It's considered a hand management, tile placement, grid, and matching game. And again, it's beautiful. You are creating a village green for yourself. And in the game, it's one of those puzzly games again. Placement is very important. At the top of the columns, you're going to have a chance to put criteria for points at the top of the column. Let's say they all have to be the same kind of tree. And in rows, you're going to also be able to put criteria to try and get points. One simple one would be no empty spaces. Okay? And then when you're picking trees or flowers or grass or gazebo or whatever, you're trying to place it where ultimately, first of all, you don't want it to hurt you in points, but you want it to give you points in one direction. And perfect placement is if you put something down and it meets both criteria, and you're going to get double points for this and points for this. That is the sweet spot of Village Green. It's why I like it. It's that puzzle of, if I take this one, I can put it here, and it gives me points for here. It doesn't hurt me for there, but it gives me points here. But if I get a different criteria, I can change it, and this will be worth something. It's a puzzle. Village Green. My next to the last. And now my last. And my last is Welcome to. Welcome to, let me switch my page here. Or not, oh yeah. Welcome to came out in 2018. It is a roll and write. It's pattern building, and it's bingo style. Remember, I talked about bingo style before. It plays in about 25 minutes, and it plays 1, and they say, to 100 people. Yeah, I would still suggest 4 to 6. I would not go much higher than that, because then now, if everyone knows how to play it, then sure. Yeah. But if you're teaching it, you don't want to have really more than 4 people while you're teaching it. Once everyone knows how to play it and you can teach some others, then yeah. As long as you only have 2 or 3 people that are learning it at the time and everyone else knows what they're doing, you can keep on adding people. It's a neighborhood, 3 streets in your neighborhood. And then different things. Some will have pools, some will have parks. Each street has its own park. Some of the houses have pools. There's construction. There's the real estate market. It's everyone. The bingo aspect is that when you flip a card over, everyone can choose something from this column and something from this column. It could be any combination they want. So that changes everybody's neighborhood, because everybody's looking at those going, okay, I'm going to put that with the pool and get the credit for the pool, and that's and all you're doing is numbering the houses consecutively. Well, in order, not necessarily consecutive. I mean, they have to be in order numerically, going up in number from 1 to 15. But you can skip numbers. Don't skip too many, or else you're not going to be able to make it. And there's also criteria cards that make it very replayable, that will give you extra points if you have, 3 sets of 4 houses together, fenced in, and so you've got these different criteria. I take it, first of all, because I can play it solo. I have whiteboard version of that, 4 of them, so hence 4 people could play with a whiteboard, but I do have the pad of paper in here as well. Because it can play so many people and it can play 1, I decided I needed 1, and I like it. It's just light enough puzzle. Again, I like puzzle, and not heavy, light. It's relaxing. It kind of gets me away from the drudgery of packing and moving. I hate it. I don't mind moving. I don't mind going someplace new. I'm used to that. It's number 16 in 31 years. I can do this, and I grew up doing it, so I can do this. I just hate the packing. I hate the packing. That's my worst thing, because I'm like obsessive about it, and it kind of stresses me, and I don't feel like I'm doing it fast enough. Yet if I try and do it any faster, then I get frustrated, and then of course I'm getting old, and bending and lifting and is doing a number on me. It's like, yeah, that ibuprofen is my friend, and and eating a banana a day to try and get some extra potassium for my muscles, or lack of them. Anyway, so there you have it. A long list. The day this video comes out, none of this will be here. It will be in a pod away from this house, and I will be leaving this house 4 days later. So this is my little farewell video for this house. I'm doing last box. I have all the other videos pre-recorded to get through the end of June, and then I'll be someplace else, and we'll just start from there. Yeah, wish me luck. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. Please subscribe. I love to see that little number go up. I know I don't have 1,000. I don't have 100,000. I have, at the time of this recording, 42 subscribers. But I love sharing about games, and I love sharing about casual games, because not everyone talks about casual games. They talk about all those nitty-gritty kind and the heavier ones, even the medium ones. And, you know, I think there's enough channels talking about that. My dog is trying to get my attention right now. She says, "You talk too long, Mom." Okay, honey, I'm getting off in a minute. God bless you and your family. Until next time, bye. Happy gaming.